Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this pet bed. You can make it for either your cat or your dog. If you want it for a dog you just need to make it larger. Oh, here's a cat, says where's my bed gone, I need it back. Well, at least it shows that she likes it. As I say, you can make it with oddments of yarn. I used just oddments of some balls of Aran and chunky yarn that I'd got left over, or you can just buy some in. I used about 300 grams of yarn. I used a 6.5mm hook as well, and as I say, if you want to make it for a dog you just need to make it larger. This one measures about 18 inches across. Yes, I'm just talking, darling. And it's got a soft stuffed edge so that it's nice and warm and cosy, and I'll show you how to make it. Excuse the tail. Use whatever starting method you prefer. I prefer the magic loop, where you just make a loop and into it I will just do one chain. That's my starting point, and then I will do 6 double crochet. If you were in the US that would be 6 single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now I'm not going to join this, I'm going to work in continuous rounds, so just pull that tight, and into that first stitch, it's always a little bit fiddly until you get going, just get that out of the way. Into that first stitch I'm going to do 2 double crochet. If I can get in, there we go. So into there, I shall just do the first one and then mark that stitch, because you need to know every time you come back round to the start of the circle. Then I'll do another one into the same stitch, so that's 2 into that one, and then 2 into every one of those 6 of the previous round until I've come back round the full circle, and that will give me 12 stitches on this row. There we do, I've come round again. So just take out the marker stitch, do the first stitch and then pop the marker back, so you always know where you are on the round. Now on this round I'm going to do 1 double crochet, then increase in the next stitch, and 1 double crochet, increase in the next stitch, and so on all the way round. So I've done the 1, that was the first stitch that I've just done there. So now I shall increase in the next one simply by doing 2 stitches into one. So 2 in that one, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and so on all the way around, and this will begin to make this large circle which will form the base of the bed. So what we're going to do now, again, take out the marker, do that first stitch and put the marker back, and in this row we're going to do 2 stitches, then increase, 2 stitches, increase all the way round. On the next row it will be 3 stitches, increase, 3 stitches, increase all the way around. The row after that it will be 4, row after that 5. So if you get what I'm doing, on each row I'm just increasing the number of stitches there are between the increase point. So we're doing on this one it will be 2 increase, 2 increase, 2 increase, next row 3 increase, 3 increase. I'll write all this down and I hope you understand, and that will then just make it grow and it won't all curl up, it'll stay nice and flat. So I shall carry on, I shall do that and come back and show you what it looks like. What you need to do is just really continue doing that until this part is as big as you want it. Say you want, you've got a small cat and you want the base of the bed to be about 1 foot diameter. Carry on until it's that big. If you want to make it for a large cat or a dog or perhaps 2 cats, just carry on until you feel that the base of the bed is exactly as big as you want. So this is the base part finished now, and I did run out of the dark grey variegated yarn, so I've just started into the light grey now. So as I say, it just uses up lots of oddments if you want to. I don't know if you can see this in the light, but here these are the increase sections where you've come out from the centre, beginning with just 1 stitch and increase 1 stitch, and then on the next row 2 stitches, then 3, 4, 5 and so on, and I've gone up until I've got 25 stitches between each increase. Now just keep going until the base is as big as you want. This is about 16 inches across and it's just about right for a cat. If you wanted it for a dog you'd need to go quite a lot bigger. And just bear in mind that on the edge we're now going to work straight and bring the edge up, and it will fold over and be stuffed to form like a padded edge. So allow enough for that because it will bring in the edge somewhat, so the actual finish size of the centre will be a few inches in from the edge. So it's just a matter really of just working out how big you want it and just continuing to work until you're happy with it. So the next stage is to work the sides. And to work the sides, what I'm actually going to do is stop at the marker and I'm actually going to turn it over and work back the other way. Now the reason for doing that is this is the right side of your crochet work, and if I carry on up and do the side and then fold it over and join it here to the side panel, you will then have an outside or the wrong side edge showing. It doesn't really matter, I think crochet is quite nice on both sides of the work, but they would obviously be different because one side has, the right side has a little V, but the other side has this like extra stitch across the top, but that's entirely up to you. So I'm going to turn it over. So simply turn over your work and begin going back the way you came. Now I'm just going to do 1 double crochet, single crochet if you're in the US, but I'm just going to work into these front loops. How you would normally do it is to go between the two like that, but in this instance, just on this row, I'm just going to go in these front loops, so just into those, and we're not decreasing or increasing or anything, we're just doing 1 double crochet in the front loop of every one of these stitches until I come back round to the marker where we started. So I've got through both there. So just continue on like that around the edge, working into these front loops until you come back round to here. I've come back round to the marker, which I will now, as before, just take that out, work that stitch again, that last one is into the front loop, remark it, and then I'm going to continue in the round. I won't join it, I'm going to just go into this stitch here, just get through both loops this time just as normal now, and do the double crochet, and then just continue on around, and I'm going to keep doing just round after round until the side panel is as long as I want it. Now it needs to be as deep as you'd like the side, but double that because it's going to fold over. So if you can imagine, this is the base now. You can see by working into those front loops, it makes the edge stand up, and as I work round and round, this side will get higher and it will fold over, and once I'm happy I shall do the same again downwards until it's just probably about 3 or 4 inches high, and then I will stuff, I'll show you this later, but I will stuff it and sew it and join it back into this bottom edge. And you can then use these loops that were left, the back loops, you can use those to then sew the edge down. But as I say, we'll come to that later, and all you need to do now is just keep working round and round in continuous spiral until it's as long as you want it. This is the bed so far now, with this side panel now finished. I've done it up to about 7 inches from there down to that bottom where we turned and worked in the back loops, but if you want a larger size then just do it longer, and obviously if you want a smaller one do it shorter. But if I now fold this in, you'll see what it's going to look like once it's stuffed. So it'll be around about that size. I mean, if you're happy with that sort of soft edge, you could just sew it in at that and not stuff it, but I want to make quite a stuffed padded edge. So the next stage is to sew this edge into the bottom there, and I shall just bring the camera in a bit closer to show you how I do that. This is where I've come round on the top edge back to the marker, so I can now take that out, we don't need that now. And I'm going to join the edge to the bottom, and now I'm going to crochet it in, but you can sew it if you want to just cut off a length of thread and sew a big wool needle and sew it on, that's fine, do it whichever way you prefer, but I like to crochet it in. So I'm just going to go through that first stitch, and then down here on the inside you'll find those stitches, you can see them all raised up here. Now these are the back loops where we worked in the front loops on that first round of the side panel. We were left with these other loops, so if you just fold it in so that you get it all neat, and then go into one of them at the bottom, you can go in there, just pull the yarn through the stitch and then through that one for now, and it does like a slip stitch, so through there, then through the next one, hook the yarn and pull it through everything, through the next stitch, through the loop, pull the yarn up, and it slip stitches it all into place. You can see that, hopefully. And continue round. I would do probably about a third of the bed and then begin to stuff, otherwise you'll have a job getting your hand inside. So if you do part way and then stuff it, that's probably the easiest way. Or like I say, if you don't want to stuff it, just go all the way round and fasten it off. And you can see how that is joining it on there to the bottom. I've sewn part way now, and I've got some of this stuffing. It's just from an old cushion, you can buy it in the shops. You could also use old clothing cut up or something, depends what you've got to hand. And I'm just going to push that into that sewn part. Like I say, if you only do a short way, it is easier. You haven't got to push it so far. And then once you've done that, sew some more, and then stuff again, and continue round like that until you come back to where you started. but you can see there how that is making this nice warm firm edge on there. And this is where I've sewed, so I shall carry on sewing now all the way round, and when I get back to here just before I close the gap I will just make sure the stuffing is all even all the way round. So I'll finish that and then I'll show you the completed bed. When you've finished sewing it will look something like this, and it's simply then a matter of just pushing the bottom under and pulling the sides up, and it will all come into shape with the bottom in there. And there we go, one nice cosy comfy pet bed for your cat or your dog. If you make it big you could make a massive one for a big dog, or for your little tiny kitten if you go smaller. So the next thing is I shall go and find the cat and see what she thinks to it. And there we are, somebody does like their bed. Good night, Tilly.